Parr to discuss some of the things they came up with the letter from the town engineer. Thank you, Kaylee. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Parenti. I'm the fire chief in Northborough. This is a meeting of the Fire Station Building Committee, but it's going to be kind of a unique meeting because we're not going to have a quorum. We've had several last-minute cancellations due to some personal issues. But I'm going to go ahead and read the script, and we do have some business we want to conduct. So pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Act of 2023, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on March 29, 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted to participate in the public comment portions of the meeting. We will not be having, it's not a public meeting, so we will not be taking public comment. You can follow along with the link that was in the agenda on YouTube or on cable TV. I'm not going to worry about getting it 100% because, again, we're not going to have a quorum and we're not going to be taking minutes. But I want to confirm, Tom, you can hear me okay?
I can.
And John, you're good?
Yes, sir.
Again, John Rapp is here. He is not a member of the Fire Station Building Committee. He is a liaison from the financial planning, and John does not take part in any votes, but there will be no votes being taken. So while we're waiting for our next person to come in, who should be here at about 10 minutes or so, I assume. If there's a few things we can talk about when it comes to last night's meeting. So, what do you think about the meeting overall?
It's good. Made some progress. A couple issues as I mentioned before, the sidewalk running along West Main Street, they seem confused as to where to begin and end.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that there's a confusion that they think that the sidewalk that serves Hillside Grill is not a public sidewalk. It serves just the building. So trying to hook up with that, I think, would be a mistake. And I would hope we would get the planning board and the design review committee to agree that let's hook up at a Vidya Bank on the east and stay 5 or 6 feet away from the edge of the pavement and take it as far as the town is willing to invest in. Whether
right, and I think what design review wanted to do last night, and they were okay with it, was to do just that. But then Lori had mentioned she wanted to carry it through all the way across in front of Hillside. It's not so much that I have an issue with that. I have an issue with making that part of this project because this project is costly enough as it is.
Right.
I really don't think we want to. And again, I don't know how much, Tom, you'd probably know better than I would, how much it would cost to lay that much sidewalk. But I do know that it is in the state right of way, so we'd have to get whatever permits that and everything.
Well, maybe it could be designed, incorporated into the construction drawings, and the town, if they want to hire the site contractor to, as a change order, to extend it from the property line over to the driveway, that might be a simple way of hooking things up.
Okay. What else came up last night you wanted to mention?
The location of the crosswalks. There is currently one east of the site near Vidya Bank, which is existing. There was some discussion about putting another one on the west edge of the site. There is some concern about visibility as you come around the corner going west to east. So maybe that should be discussed. Probably if there were another sidewalk or crosswalk added, it would be a convenience for the fire department, because if you want to use Dunkin' Donuts, that would be a convenience. But we don't have a lot of foot traffic in that part of town right now. And
we don't. So I had, and I think Parr had several concerns as well with that location of the second crosswalk. I think that's a good location. John, I don't know if you watched the meeting last night. They were talking about putting a second crosswalk west of the entrance for the public parking, right in that vicinity.
Right.
My concern and Dom's concern, and I think far is concerned as well, is that's right on that corner. And I don't think you have enough vision ahead for that.
It's a blind turn.
It is. I think if we put one directly across from the main entrance, Tom, that may be okay. But a couple of things that need to be understood is that is not something that DPW can do. That's a stamped asphalt project. So that would actually be part of the project that would require us for the state to get it done. And I don't even know if that's a good place to put it even there without some kind of signal.
How about if you put a signal at the Avidia one, and so if you're going from the fire station to Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to have to go east, a couple hundred yards, cross, and then go west.
Which I think is appropriate. I think
A
that's
little out of the way.
Yeah. If you look at the sidewalks there, the other side of the street has got sidewalks all the way up, and the sidewalk ends, in effect, at our building site today. There is no public sidewalk from the Hillside Grill property further west from there. So it terminates there, and I got to assume the rest of it is all private properties.
Yeah. Well, again, the state has the right of way, where they could do a sidewalk to continue it down there. And I think Tom has a good idea. Maybe you put it in as an alternate, or the same way we did with the heating system, or with the antenna, or with any of those things. We could put it in there, and we could decide whether or not we want to include it in the final plan. One of the things that did come up last night that I like is one of the things that Bill Pierce brought up, which was an indicator sign to the west around the corner, indicating that the preemption system was activated.
Right.
I thought that was an awesome idea. I wish I would have thought of that myself. Similar to what they have right on Route 9. If you're heading Route 9 in Shrewsbury, if you're heading east, as you're coming up to the hill that comes down by Stop and Shop, there's a sign there that tells you, and if it's red, it lights up and says red light ahead.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea to give people a heads up so they don't come around a corner and run into that preemption.
And again, Chief, where would that sit?
The
Such a
the preemption, or the sign?
The other sign.
So the sign would be actually before the corner. So as people were heading east on Route 20,
Main Street,
they'd see it. Hi, Mitch. They'd see it before they made the corner where we were, and I thought that was a great idea. We were just talking about some of the stuff that came up at the meeting last night, at the planning board meeting. So I thought that was an awesome idea. So hopefully we'll go forward with that. A couple of things that came up with the letter from the town engineer that I had some concerns with. One of them was not concerns with, but some of the things we have to address. One of them was we have to ask for a waiver for the sewer privilege and for the water privilege. I sent a letter today to a message today to PAR, to HKT, and to ROPM, requesting them to draft a letter asking for that waiver. Same way we did with all the permit waivers that we asked for. So I don't think that, and I reached out to the DPW director, and he said that's simple. That's all you have to do, and they'll come into the sewer and water commissioner and take action on it. So that was one thing. One of the other things that I do have concern with, and the way he wrote it, was when the preemption system goes in front of the station, we can deactivate or remove the preemption system from the Church Street, West Main Street. And the answer is no, we can't. That needs to be integrated in sync with the new system. So when we're coming out, it dumps the intersection out and doesn't stop everyone and back them up. Otherwise, the preemption on our side isn't going to do a whole lot of good, right? We want to be able to dump it at all. So I sent that to, again, to PAR today, and to HKT, and to our OPM. Haven't heard back from them. Those are the only two things I saw on Fred's letter that I thought needed any response. Anything else, Tom or Mitch, that came up at the meeting last night that you guys wanted to discuss? And Mitch, I went ahead and I explained that we don't have a quorum. I explained I did read the notice anyway, the script anyway, just so people were aware. And I advised them that we wouldn't be taking any votes tonight, and that John is here as a as a liaison from financial planning, is not a member. So I think I hit everything I needed.
You did all the good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, and I apologize for being late. I had
Oh, no, not at all.
an unexpected child transportation issue arise.
I got 4 of them. My baby's 28. I can still relate to that. Trust me. In fact, during last night's meeting, I was sitting at the parking lot for the commuter trail rail, waiting for her to come in because my daughter had been at a meeting at the UN in New York City, and she was coming back through Suffolk College, where she goes. So she was at a meeting. So I'm sitting there waiting for her to come back to pick her up. But I can relate very well. That was my point. Anything else come up last night? Either
I thought it was a really good meeting.
I did too. I thought there were a lot of good points.
Good discussion.
And again, I know Amy had the question again about getting rid of the parking spots, and she's asked that before, and moving the station ahead. We're really not going to gain anything off the height of.
I had asked the same question too, during one of our meetings,
Yep.
just to understand the pros and cons of that. And yeah, obviously, we don't really gain much either in terms of cost or shortening of the wall height, and we lose parking spaces, which we really need downtown.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, what I wanted to do tonight was talk a little bit about the town meeting prep. So I have our almost finished PowerPoint that I want to go over with all of you. So you guys I want your feedback. The deputy and I have been working on it for a while. The deputy's working on a handout that should be ready by the end of the week. We were trying to decide, and I'd like your input. Do we want to continue putting numbers out there as they continue changing? Or do we want to wait and just say, put the escalation costs? Mitch, I sent you the escalation figures today from Tim. Did you get those?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah.
It was amazing how accurate, how close you were, and how close we actually are to. There really is very little difference.
Yeah.
Where we were.
Yeah. So I'll quickly describe. I don't have it in a easily shareable way on screen right now, but I had done my own rough projection of if we had the same project that was designed, it wasn't designed, the feasibility rough design from 2019, and just we're working on that exact project now, no changes at all. What would it cost now? Because I suspected that the vast majority of the difference is just cost escalation. We know it exists every year, and we had a few years of it being particularly crazy. So, so I gathered some very rough cost escalations, did something for myself, said, I don't want to share this with anybody because I want to get some real numbers. So I asked him through the chief to do a version of that spreadsheet. So he sent that out to me or to the chief, and chief forwarded to me. And yeah, it shows very roughly. Okay, yeah, so you've got it right there. So this is just the construction cost of the 2019 project, which was 15 million for, and just that exact same project is 25.5 today. And that does not include any of the soft costs or anything else. It doesn't include things that we've realized since that we do need by code, energy code stuff, elevator. It does not include the retaining wall, which the architect from 2019 didn't realize that we need because there wasn't a full survey done. So the numbers start to really, really match up, and I think they help tell the story of how we got to potentially in the 40 million plus range, from what people thought was 18.8 5 years ago. So this form itself, I don't think is too digestible, but it helps tell that story in a meaningful way.
Yeah. Chief, you got some numbers on the FAQs as of, I believe, March 27th, where we show the number come from 43.49 to the range coming down. That's in the public domain. That's out there.
So let me show you what I've done since then, if I may. Hang on a second. If I can do this without losing where the heck I am. Hang on. Northborough. Yeah. Apartment, fire. I'll go up and share my screen again. I just did this today. So what I did was, can you all see this right here?
Yep.
That covers the initial cost, the second cost, the committee, when the cost after we approved the geothermal, so it came back up a little bit just because of the numbers. Then the geothermal state and federal rebates, total minus the rebates, what the contingencies are, and if we don't have the contingencies, what the Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand the very last line, total if contingencies are not used.
So the contingencies here,
Yeah.
those may or may not be utilized in the construction process, right? We may not need any contingencies. We don't have any change orders. We don't have anything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so those are the the owner's contingency and
Right.
construction contingency. Gotcha.
Right. So if we didn't need those and
Yep.
we didn't use them at all because we were, we did a good job designing, this is
Yeah.
what the final, that's what that is.
Okay.
Now, if you guys can think of a better way to word that, please let me know.
Well, I would counsel us that, set the expectation, manage the expectation. You put a number out there, people are going to zero in on that. And so, we
Which
need
is
it.
why,
The committee needs a number that it's comfortable with.
That's why I did this.
It's my best
shows
counsel.
so it shows you what's happening.
Right.
Yeah, I worry that people are just going to look and say, "Oh, so we're going to be approving, 37 or 39 at town meeting."
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I can put something else down here that indicates estimated or
Design development numbers, just you got to label it as to what phase you're in.
Yeah.
Just because I can do this while you're right here, if you guys don't mind.
This is good. I've never actually seen the website editing. I know roughly what it looks like because I know the
I'm just sneaking
system
in
it's
here.
based on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where would you like? I can put.
Well, at the total project cost you could say design development phase.
So here in this section where I am right now,
the top line.
Okay, so put total.
Well, I would still leave that there and just put hyphen design development phase.
Okay. Something like that?
Yes. So as you progress through design development and into the construction documents, that's when the contingencies start to go away because you've made your decisions and selections.
Well, I think those are not the design contingencies, but those are those contingencies. That's why I think we need to rephrase that a bit. I think those are the construction and owner contingencies, right?
Is that the 5% that's baked in there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So a total of 10% of construction costs.
Something to that effect, Mitch?
Total construction and order contingency. I would say, and then I would say included in above, and then get rid of that very last line of the total without being used, because I think that people will get drawn in.
Get rid of this line?
Get rid of that line entirely.
Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
These in parentheses if you want.
No.
Okay.
Do we want to have the February number there? I'm saying I'm trying to keep
this one,
the busyness of this down. If we took that out, you want people to focus on, it's going to be X to Y. It's going to be north or south of 40 mil.
Well, no, I agree, but I also wanted to show the progress we're making as a committee.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
understand
that number was highly reported. I think we need to show, okay, well, somebody's going to pick up an old community advocate and say, you said $49 million. Where's that?
Right,
So,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That was my thoughts. Let's show the progress we're making as we go through.
Yeah, and the message is the committee is working hard with the designers and the project managers to get that number down, and we hope it'll be a lot less due to the incentives and the rebates and taking the contingencies out.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys good with that?
Yeah. Another thing, curious what other people think on it. I think low to high. So if it was me, I would swap the two columns.
You know why I did it that way? Because that's how they gave it to me. I think that you know what I mean? That's how it came across in the forms.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Chief, where I come from, the market's 43 bid, 49 offered. Low to high.
Okay, so give me a second. I'm not that intelligent.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a quick and easy way to do that.
Probably not. How about I do it
Okay.
later so I don't tie you guys?
Yeah.
Flip the columns, but yeah.
Yeah. This isn't always the easiest program to work through. So sometimes I have to stop and really think about it. So.
Yep.
Okay, so I can do that later. Anything else?
I sent you an email earlier, Chief. I'm sure you probably have this in your PowerPoint, but I'm suggesting have maybe 2 slides. What activities have we accomplished to date? What milestones have we accomplished? And what is coming up in terms of interim steps between now and September, October?
Yep. So
you may have that. I know I've seen your pitch a couple of times, but it was just something I had a thought of this afternoon.
John, I don't know if I have all that, but I did send it to the deputy. And again, we're working on this. We're hoping to finalize it by tomorrow or Friday at the latest, so we can send it to David for to make sure he has it.
Good.
So, anything else with that? You guys were all okay with what we've looked at so far. This is the PowerPoint we're looking at for town meeting. We're also going to bring over, right now there's an easel that's up at the library. We're going to bring that over to town meeting, set up a table, have the handout. And I wasn't going to put this because there's too many pages here. We've still got to cut some pages out of this, to be honest with you. There's too many slides. So I'm not going to hand this out, but we want that 1-page information, the QR code that they can get to our site. And then they can look at this if they want. It'll be linked off our site when we're done. So this is page 1. This is the latest and greatest from HKT with the color scheme and all of that. Okay. We put a disclaimer in and say, hey, this is where we currently are. Things could change, right? They're still in development. They're going to modify as the project moves forward, blah, 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 blah. So we don't want people to think, oh, this is what it's going to be. We thought that would be
Can you put punctuation at the end of those sentences?
Yeah.
Mitch, you got a red pencil somewhere?
They're free.
You guys are a pain in the tush.
My temptation would be to write on my monitor. That wouldn't work out too well. Thank you.
Hey,
we're only getting started, Chief.
You know what? You're lucky it's spelled right by a bunch of firefighters. So, hey, we took the timeline and condensed it into one slide instead of multiple slides. Okay. Same information you saw before, just all in one slide. We then took the current, where we currently are, condensed it all into one slide. Again, trying to make it easier, quicker to go through. And we're not going to read this every single thing on here, but the idea is, hey, this is what we've done so far. This is where we are right now. We took the history and condensed it onto one slide. So here's what the history of the station, and this is the apparatus that we're in service then. Current apparatus. You guys have seen this before.
Yep.
You've seen this before. And you've seen this one before. This is cleaned up a little bit. It's a nicer slide to look at. It just has the 5 steps to a safe and healthy station design. Okay. Deputy did this for me. Much cleaner, looks much nicer.
Nice.
Breaks out the hot, warm, and cold zones, much easier to see. And labels them.
Yep.
Okay. Here's the site design. So here's the first question I have. Do we want to put this slide in there? This is the straight wall. Now we've decided we want the batter wall in the back, but the straight wall's on the side. We can get rid of this slide completely. I'm
Just
okay with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's detail and
We've
yeah,
gone
it's just-
past that.
there's a wall
Mitch,
there. That's all.
Mitch,
Yeah.
how much time do you think the chief has?
Oh, I'm the
Well-
last guy. I can go for hours.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of people are just going to leave. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Okay.
if we should aim it for something, but detail
My
on the
intent-
wall options we don't need.
My
Yeah.
intent is it's going to be more for the recording than the people that are there.
Yeah.
So if people want to go back and see it, they can go back. And watch it.
Yeah.
So I think we should get rid of that slide.
Take it out.
I
Yeah.
think we should. Come on.
Yep.
I think we should get rid of this slide.
Get rid of
the batter wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
This we wanted to put. I thought this was important. This is what we picked for the wall. You guys haven't seen that one before. I think that's really an important slide for people to see what it's going to look like.
Okay.
Yep.
But that's a straight wall. So that's not.
It is a straight wall, which is what the side walls are going to look like, the side ones. But it gives the design, so you don't
Yeah.
see that ugly wall.
I
to you
would.
guys.
You know how you can tell it's an engineered wall and not laid up walls when you have vertical joints stacked?
Right
Mhm.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wherever
Yep.
so you can see the big blocks. There's six
Mhm.
six stone faces per block.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
But who cares?
So we can leave this one and get rid of this one if you want.
Yeah.
What do you
I
guys
don't
think?
even. I'm not even convinced we need even the first one, but I.
But again, the idea is to just give them an idea of how we got where we are,
Yeah.
what we looked at. I mean, I could have put every single thing up there, and I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was too much.
Yeah. I think we know we need a wall, and
Yep.
we're not showing
Recommend-
showing close-ups of the bricks that we chose for the building or anything like that. So
Nope, I don't have any of those. I recommend we
Yeah.
get rid of this slide, the
Um,
landscape design
nah,
one.
don't need that.
Yep, I agree with you. And then this gets into the actual
Yeah.
design, which I
Yep.
think is important.
It's
Yeah.
very important. Yeah, this
Both of
is
those.
the function. I mean, this is
Yep.
why
Yep.
we're building it.
This is the exterior view. And then all the views from the northeast, from the northwest.
Yeah.
And my intent is to zip through these quickly. Now this
Yep.
one, unfortunately, we're trying to get an updated image from HKT. I don't know if they have one. If they don't, I don't know if I want to use this because it shows the parking on this side that
Yeah.
isn't there.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
So
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
think we need that many exteriors anyway.
Yep. And here's just
Yeah.
from the other view. Again, it shows the parking
Yep.
here. So
I would get rid
Yep.
of it. I don't think we need it even if we have the new version.
I agree. I like this slide
Yeah.
Pretty.
Mhm.
and I like this slide. I think they both give you a good look at what we're talking about.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. This one, I don't know, guys. Do we need it?
Nope.
I don't disagree, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, it's nice, but I don't like it's. It's not
It's,
gonna
it's
make or break
minutia. In the
anybody's.
scheme of the project, it's minutia.
Don't
Yeah.
disagree with you guys. Now these things we're gonna delete. So this was all the stuff that was on Tim's that he gave us. I want to keep this for notes, but I don't think we need to have it as a slide.
Okay.
Agreed.
That would be this one and this one,
Mhm.
right? Talks about hard costs, soft costs, what they are, all that kind of stuff. I think this kind of, so anyway, what, use these notes to explain this. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Hard costs are simply building construction costs. Soft costs are the other things. And then these are what hard costs are. These are what soft costs are. Because they hear us talking about it all the time, but we don't really dig into what they are. So instead of
Mhm.
using ones up here that are really more confusing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
using this information here. Does that make more sense?
Okay.
Same thing for this one. Don't need this. Let's get rid of it. We'll use the notes, but let's get rid of it. This one here. Use the notes and get rid of it. This one, I'm not quite sure what to do with. Because the idea is to show them decisions we're making as a committee. And, we've gotten rid of this. We've gotten rid of this. We've gotten rid of this.
I
we've
would
gotten
I
rid
would
of
just
this.
leave it as when we talk about the price range, there are still decisions left to be made.
Okay, and I'm okay with that. You guys okay with that one? This
If
So
is a
somebody
good
the
asks.
slide.
the ones without the X's haven't been decided on.
Right, these we probably
Right.
don't even have a choice on.
Right. We haven't discussed the energy code. Okay.
Right, right. So we can get rid of it completely, not a big deal.
So the
This
stretch
is-
code goes into effect, Chief,
It's already in effect.
July 1st.
No, it went into effect January 1st.
No, that's one phase. We have multiple layers of
Yeah.
energy code. So this next one's coming in July.
This is a comparison of the two, because we keep getting questions on it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just a further comparison of why we added the square footage,
Yep.
the
that's a good-
elevator,
That's a good.
all of that.
That's a good one.
Right, so they understand this. We didn't just arbitrarily say, "Oh, we want more room." No, it's because this is why we need more room. And then this is again the breakdown of the hard cost and the soft cost, and why and how, why we are where we are.
And again, this should be, whatever's on here should be in line with the thing we were discussing earlier that's on the
Yep.
website.
Yep, and the deputy and I, what we're doing is if he makes changes, I compare him. If I make changes, he compares it. So we're trying to
Yep.
cross check.
Keep it safe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. You guys know I love graphs because I'm a nerd, but I don't know if people love graphs as much as I love graphs. So I don't know if this is effective. The idea is to show this is what's happening to construction costs. Okay.
I would say take it out. I would say
What do you
take
guys
it out.
think? Mitch?
The one on the left, just inflation. You definitely don't need that. Construction cost escalation. I mean, it's useful. But that particular chart goes
Just from
back
across the
to
country.
what, 2007 or something. We
Goes back
don't.
to right
eight-
around there.
2008.
Well,
Um,
it starts with the recession in 2008 when construction just imploded.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the
Right.
big dip there, 2008,
Yeah.
2009. It's been on
And
the
the
rise.
hockey stick is after COVID. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing that really matters here is 2019 plus.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I can leave it. I can leave it right like it is. I mean, get rid of it, not use it at all. It's up. I'm
Yeah.
okay way.
My
Okay.
concern is you don't lose the audience, assuming we got a good number of people still there.
I
You know,
don't disagree with
Throwing
you.
slides at them, their eyes are going to roll over.
Well, I told you that we have to get rid of a bunch of slides. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that. Mitch, this is taking that information that we just shared and putting it in a little bit more digestible form.
Great. Great.
I kind of think this looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the
So
way
this
what you've done.
this I think is better than the previous one we had the two graphs, because you can talk to the second one, the following one, Chief. You can talk to that.
Yep, I agree. Hang on a second. If I don't do this now, you know what's going to happen, right? Just saying, because I know myself very well. Okay, so we have this one, and then I can flip this low to high like we talked about before.
Yeah.
But just leave the information there. And
I
this
would get
matches
rid
up-
of that contingency funds and return, because every project needs some amount of those contingency funds.
Yep.
So I would say it's there, and we're going to try to use as little of it as necessary.
so we'll keep all of this.
Yeah, and
Don't worry about this. We'll keep the rebates
yeah,
and get rid of the contingencies.
yeah.
We can do that.
I know it lowers the number, but I feel dishonest implying that we won't use contingency
I'm
funds.
going to tell you, I can't tell you how many times I looked to make sure this number was right, so I wasn't giving the wrong information.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, Mitch. I don't want to put numbers out there that appear to be for the sole purpose of lowering the number. You
Right.
know what I mean? I want to
Yeah. I mean, that's a known quantity, and that one's interesting because that can change based on two reasons. So the mass save part of the geothermal rebate is based on the tonnage of the units installed. So if as it goes through design, we need something that's a little bit lower, a little bit more, that could change. The federal one is based on percentage of cost, so we won't. As it, if they design it, it turns out that the estimated cost is a little bit less, the rebate will come down a little bit.
It could,
in comparison to that, but that's okay because the cost went down too.
Right. And I did, yeah, okay, we can do that.
And on that one, yeah, I guess you've got the two columns of high versus low. I mean, obviously it doesn't change.
I'll just flip them.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it matches everything else.
Yep.
These are just some stuff we wanted to put in. Why the location, talks about NFPA a little bit. The fact that building downtown eliminates the need for a second station because we can keep our response areas and that kind of stuff. It talks a little bit about, and I think this is super important because people need to understand it's not like building your house. We have to use the municipal process, which talks about open bids and prevailing wages and low bidder and all that. So I think it's some important information.
Does this slide belong before you get into the costs that, okay, here, the location, the municipal projects, here's the big picture background, and then whammo, here's the cost.
We can.
In an ordering?
Yeah.
In an ordering, does this belong before it, is my question?
Same thing with this one if you want.
Yeah.
So we can move these up. And
Right.
these are our final deadlines. Hang on.
Yeah, I agree, John. Those go before costs.
It's a drag and drop, yeah.
Goes from there. No, got to go in front of that. Goes from there to there, from there, to there.
Yep.
Okay. We thought the important future dates people need to know about.
Yep.
And then the QR code.
Yep.
And then I'll still get rid of we talked about, I can't remember, what did we decide on this?
Delete.
Delete it.
Thank you. I couldn't remember that one. This one
Yeah.
I knew, but I couldn't remember the other one.
So how many slides you got, Chief?
Hang on, I'm not done
30-ish?
yet. I'm still deleting.
I'd get rid of the retaining wall material.
I thought I just did, didn't I?
You got rid of the wall, but not the block.
Oh, we're talking about the block itself.
Yeah, we don't. That's detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of that one.
If you want to do that, we can get rid of this one too.
Well, I think that's the overall
site plan, yeah.
Okay. Then that brings us down to a more manageable 31 slides.
Yeah, all in, so that's not too bad.
All right. You guys okay with that?
Chief. Yep, Chief, do me a favor. Go back to the web page.
Yep. Hang on a
You
second.
were on before. And
Hang on, I got to stop sharing, do a new share because I didn't
Okay.
share my screen. I shared the application. Okay.
what do we say for the design to caught me after we left this screen. I forget who suggested putting in design development phase.
Yeah,
That's
probably Tom.
well, maybe it's the way that it's there. That's so that the costs that we are basing this on is based on the schematic design estimate.
Yep.
But we're working on this design development phase.
Okay, so we may change that to schematic.
I don't know. Let me see that what it looks like there. I would put, if it were me, I would remove design development phase, but then on the February 1st, I thought that was February 29th. Whatever it was, whatever that date was,
Yeah, that was just the
where
date
we
that was
got
picked off the schedule.
the 49.9.
Yeah, so
Okay.
get rid of this.
It was mid to late February, Mitch, as I recall.
Yeah. Whatever that is, I would call that the schematic design cost estimate. The next line down from where you're selected.
Hang on.
Yeah. Again, this is just me, so I'm reluctant to suggest that you make edits right away.
Oh,
I'm almost
what's
certain that
nice
was the
about this
29th.
is it's super easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Not even close, right?
You're missing an E between the H and the M.
Pretty damn close.
Schematic design cost estimate. Yeah.
You gotta flip your N and G.
Design.
God, you guys stop looking at what I'm typing.
Mitch, we had a meeting on the 28th of February.
Oh, it was the 28th? I thought it was the 29th.
No, 28th was a Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
How's
I
that?
had some kind of meeting on the 29th.
I'd like this to stand out more, though.
Oh,
I'm not going to underline it.
I would get rid of, I would say estimate singular. I don't know why. Plural bothers me. It's one estimate with a range. Okay.
How's that?
Yep.
Let's take a look. Let's go see what that looks like. Hang on.
Yep. I'm tempted to say that we'll get the design development cost estimate. I forget when that is. That's late May, if I remember right, but I don't.
Yes.
May 3rd.
Yeah.
May 3rd.
I
Okay.
could put that down here.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to commit to an exact date.
No. I just put coming
Yeah.
or something.
And the sign off on that's supposed to be by the end of May, 29 May.
Okay. You read my mind.
Design development cost. Late
Estimate.
May.
Yeah. Estimate due
May 29 is what's on the project plan.
okay. Late May. Yeah.
Our sign off is May 29.
Okay.
Okay.
God, I hate when.
I wouldn't say not due. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
It gives you some squish room, Mitch, because they're supposed to get it to us by the beginning of the month.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, are we going to articulate that we ought to have at least another community session in May?
We do.
I'm sorry, where was that on the slide?
It's right here.
If it's baked into the slides, that's fine. That's
It's
okay.
not in the slides at all.
Okay.
Not in the slides at all.
All right.
Well, we can put one in there as part of the date, but there is one more.
I think it's good to mention as an opportunity for people, particularly people that are going to watch the video, that then have some questions, so that they know we've already scheduled something. They'll have the opportunity to come and ask those questions on May 8th.
I'm just putting this in so I remember later.
Yep.
That's where it would go in schedule. Okay. Anything else? I check these links all the time to make sure they don't break. So far, they've been holding up pretty good. It's a pain in the middle of everything else I do. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, you remember we talked last meeting about the need to do some test pits, right? So test pit 1, where they found the metal. Yeah, it wasn't metal. They found a rock. we actually dug up right where it was, and it was a big rock. And then we dug up where they did the second one, same rock, and they had you could see where the bit had drilled into the rock a little bit. So that's simply a rock. The second one where they could smell a little bit of some contamination, looks like it's a very small band because they dug right past it. It's a very, very small band. They took some samples, and that's going out to be tested. We also took a sample from further up the hill just to get this, kind of a base sample. And Bob Berger, our LSP sent. So as soon as we get the results from that, we'll test.
Did you get any groundwater in any of your tests?
They didn't. None of the results indicated to me what we got. They did have to cancel the process, so they had to. They couldn't. Did you guys see the machine they had there? How small it was? I don't know if you saw the machine they had.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make it up the hill when it rained. So they take it off site. They're coming back next week, maybe later this week, next week, to finish up the other borings up on top. I talked to Janet and Amy about that today. They said, no, that's still part of the process. That's not extra. They know they had to do.
Did they
so
detect
hopefully we
it?
get those results.
Was there fill in much of the site?
They said it looks like it's non-compacted from what they found.
All right.
But they haven't gotten up in it back yet. So I don't know what they're going to find. We'll find out. They don't believe they're going to find any ledge. They did say that.
That's
But
good.
yeah.
So you might have to remove all the material that's been disturbed. So instead of just going down your conventional 4 feet for a frost wall, you may have pockets where you might have to go down deeper till you get to good bearing. So that's one of those contingency issues.
And I think what happened, Tom, I think that's the backfill from when they cleaned it.
Okay.
So when they cleaned the site, they just backfilled. They didn't necessarily, they didn't come. So I think that's what we're going to find.
So
And don't forget those geothermal wells are going to be pretty deep.
Yeah, super deep.
Yeah.
I've done some research into that, and Mitch has been part of some of it to see how those rebates work. Mitch already knows how I feel about the rebates. So what I was able to find is there is an ability for a direct pay as opposed to a tax incentive. But it's still not very clear how it works. So I actually have sent off some emails at the federal level looking for a little bit clarification, because again, I don't want to go in a meeting and tell people this is what's going to happen and then come back and say, oops, sorry, that's not what's going to happen. So I want to know the exact facts, and we're just trying to find out some more stuff.
Yeah, I suggested to Jason that maybe he reach out to some of his fellow finance directors, because although this particular rebate is new at the federal level, there are other direct pay processes from the IRS that municipalities can take advantage of.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Mitch, the research I did, it said those previous ones, there was a lot of problems with them because they ended up defunding a lot of them. And so you may have said it may still be there, the law's still there, but there's no money there. So they built into this thing, that they shouldn't be able to. It was written really interesting to say they've done everything they could to stop it from happening. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So anyway, as soon as I get more information on that, I'll let you guys. But that's all I wanted to accomplish tonight. I appreciate you guys all coming. Anything else that you wanted to talk about while we're all here?
Well, one other question came up last night. The abutter from 20 Monroe Street expressed some concern about sound transmission, and there's a misunderstanding that people think that trees will deaden sound. They don't. So if they say you need to plant more trees, you can plant trees for visual screening, but it's not going to do anything about sound. But that house is Donna Massey's house, and it's probably at 350 elevation.
Probably.
It's way up on the top of the hill. It's probably 10, 15 feet above Monroe Street. So any sound transmission is going to be deflected by the building, or from the front of the building, it'd be deflected by the building, by the retaining wall and by another 40, 50 feet of elevation. So we just want to make sure we're not spending money on planting trees for sound deadening when we don't need them.
Hang on a second. Just because I can. Monroe.
Can you click on the contours?
Hang on.
This guy's good. Topography, keep going down.
No, it's down here. I'm just trying to find it.
In reference, go down the next box.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yep. Hang on, down here. I
Yeah,
know it's
that's-
there because I've clicked it on more than one occasion.
Okay. So see at 350,
Yeah.
356,
362,
Yeah.
358, you know, that's 56, 58 feet above fire station slab.
Yeah.
So it's up there.
It is. So I've invited her down to the station anytime to come down and talk to us so we can explain what's going on and how we got where we are. And I feel horrible that she didn't know about it before she purchased. I mean, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you, that the realtor, because it's not like this happened overnight, you know.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully she'll take advantage. She'll come down, and I don't think the sirens will affect her at all because they're facing the other way for the most
Right.
part. And again, with the preemption system, and unless things are horrible, we don't use the siren 24/7, 365. We just don't do it, you know. So
Right.
I don't think that she's even going to know we're there for most.
Is that the woman that came to the meeting last month?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. Okay.
And the construction of the fire station itself will be a very good sound deflector of the noise coming from Route 20.
Yeah.
Because you want to put the barrier as close to the source of the noise as you can. And that's exactly what the fire station will be. So building the fire station will actually make her site quieter.
Sure, because everything will be in front of the station.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, folks. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Mitch, I sent you a note, and this had nothing to do with Fire Station Building Committee.
Oh,
sent
yes,
you a
on,
note.
on the town meeting
I
announcement.
need that script, and then we need to coordinate so I can send you we need to do it together because I need to send you the link to do the recording
Okay.
so we can and I'd like to get that done. It's got to get done tomorrow because we want it to go out tomorrow night. So reach out to me tomorrow and we'll get it done.
Yep, we'll get it done. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
stuff. Chief, thank you.
Night.
Gentlemen,
Talk to you
good
later.
evening.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you later. Thank you. Good night.